Am I the asshole for refusing to let my in-laws stay with us after they trashed my house last time? So here's the situation. A couple of years ago, my wife's F34 brother, John, M36, and his wife, Sarah, F35, were going through a rough patch and needed a place to stay for a few weeks while they figured things out. My wife, being the caring person she is, asked me, M37, if they could stay with us temporarily, and I agreed because family is family, right? Well, the few weeks turned into nearly 4 months. During that time, they completely took advantage of our hospitality. John treated our house like it was his own personal man cave, leaving trash everywhere and never helping with chores. Sarah wasn't much better. She kept borrowing things from our kitchen and bathroom without asking and never replaced anything. Our guest room looked like a tornado hit it when they finally left. The worst part? They had 2 kids, 5 and 7 at the time, and while I get that kids can be a handful, they were out of control. They would run through the house at all hours, break things, and scream over every little disagreement. My wife and I repeatedly asked John and Sarah to rein their kids in, but it always fell on deaf ears. After they moved out, it took us weeks to clean up the mess they left behind, and we even had to replace some broken furniture. My wife apologized, and we agreed that we wouldn't put ourselves through that again. Fast forward to now. John and Sarah are once again having issues and asked if they could stay with us, for a little while they figure things out, again. My wife immediately said yes, but I put my foot down and said absolutely not. I reminded her of the disaster that was their last stay and told her I wasn't willing to go through that again, especially since they hadn't apologized or acknowledged how badly they treated our home the last time. My wife is upset, saying I'm being heartless and that family comes first. She thinks I should give them another chance and says I'm overreacting. But I feel like I'm just setting boundaries. We have 2 kids of our own, and I don't want them to have to deal with the chaos that John and Sarah always seem to bring. Now my wife is giving me the cold shoulder, and her family thinks I'm the bad guy for not helping out in a time of need. So, am I the asshole for refusing to let my in-laws stay with us after they trashed my house last time? Family comes first. Your family too, right? Don't do it. I had a similar situation with a cousin. He left a terrible mess after he left. My partner talked me into letting him back and, 4 years later, I'm still mad about the mess he left and the way we were treated. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, of course. What in the world is wrong with your wife? Does she routinely make decisions that will affect you without consulting you? I can't imagine being so thoughtless toward my spouse. Not the asshole. Her family considers you are the bad guy? Why don't they help? They can give them money or take them in their house. Not enough place? One child with mummy in a house, the other with daddy in the other house. Problem solved. Not your problem. You helped them for 4 months and you received nothing but a disaster. They were disrespectful and you deserve better. It's a 2-yes situation and you said no. So she can't let them come in. Maybe time to take a front door camera if you don't have one, to record what happened in front of your home if she invites them when you're working. Just in case. Not the asshole. You mutually agreed that this wouldn't happen again and she decided to break that agreement by offering them a place to stay. It's your home too. She's in the wrong. Not the asshole. The last refuge of a scoundrel is the family is family line, as long as it's used to their advantage and not against them. If they apologized, if they took some actions to show they cared, heck even appreciated your prior help, they'd have a leg to stand on with a guilt trip. But it is your home as well. This takes 2 yes votes, not just 1. Notice the rest of the family does not seem to be offering these family members any help, so they get no 0.00 vote. Not the asshole. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Your wife agreed to never do it again. Am I the asshole for calling a coworker snarky when she said I gained weight? I, 27F, started taking weight loss meds this year. I wasn't really obese, but I was very overweight for quite a while. Since then, I lost about 70 pounds, started working out and really improved my mental health and self-esteem. Last week I went for lunch with a coworker and bumped into my SIL, who knew about my weight loss but didn't see me in person since I started the process. She congratulated me on it and went about her day. My coworker asked me what she was congratulating me on, and I said that it was about my weight loss, to which she replied, "Oh, she was being polite then. 'Cause I think you actually gained a few pounds recently, didn't you?" That obviously made me confused lol and said it was a bit snarky to say something like that. Even if I actually had gained weight, which I didn't, I don't think it's a polite comment at all. My coworker finished with, "Well, I am sorry if your fishing for compliments strategy didn't work on me." I am very confused about this because even though she isn't my best friend or anything, we usually hang out at lunch or coffee breaks and get along really well. Maybe I offended her telling her it was snarky? Am I the asshole? Let me guess, coworker is chubby and feels threatened by your weight loss. Not the asshole. Your coworker seems pretty unhinged. Yes, her first comment was out of line and unnecessary, and flat out rude. Her second comment exposed some obvious resentment she has towards you with the weight loss, suggesting she thinks you've been fishing for compliments, perhaps around the office. To me, then, this was not a slip of the tongue or a comment she didn't realize was rude. It actually relates to feelings of animosity that she has towards you. That makes her toxic and harmful, in my eyes at least, and she's done you a huge favor by letting you know her real feelings on the matter. Time to keep her at arm's length. You were not wrong for letting her know you found her original comment offensive. Well, I am sorry if your fishing for compliments strategy didn't work on me. The question is irrational. She's the one that asked you for an explanation of why you were congratulated. So how could you be fishing for anything? I suspect she knew, harbors jealousy or something, and found a setup so she would have an excuse to insult you. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, she's acting like you brought the weight loss up when you were just replying to her question. No matter how the topic came up, that was still an asshole comment for her to make. Your response was rather tame. My first thought was that your coworker was jealous, but I am just spitballing. Not the asshole. I would make a report to HR, just to get it on record. This person seems extremely toxic. She may make a complaint to HR about you, so you need to report this first. She's obviously not your friend, not worth your time. Am I the asshole for refusing to attend my sister's child-free wedding after she asked me not to bring my baby? My 34F sister, 29F, is getting married in 3 months. She's having a child-free wedding, which I totally respect. My husband, 35M, and I have a 3-month-old baby. When my sister first told us about the child-free situation, I assumed there would be some flexibility for immediate family, especially newborns who can't be left alone. I talked to my sister and asked if we could bring our baby to the ceremony, explaining I am breastfeeding and we don't feel comfortable leaving our baby with someone for an entire day. We have to fly into the town where she is getting married, and we don't know anyone there, so we would have to leave the baby with a stranger there, or leave the baby back home with someone we know for a long period of time. I am quite anxious about being away from our newborn for too long, which my sister knows. To my surprise, my sister was adamant that no children, including our baby, would be allowed at the wedding. She said it wouldn't be fair to make an exception for us when other guests are also not allowed to bring their kids. I asked if we could at least bring the baby for the ceremony and leave afterward, but she said no, explaining she wants a strict no-kids atmosphere the entire day. I told her that if our baby couldn't come, we'd likely skip the wedding because it's too hard to leave our newborn for such a long stretch of time. We thought about the idea of just having my husband attend, but that also seemed a bit strange too. I also don't want to just leave the baby with my husband and go by myself. My sister got very upset with me, saying it's her special day, and she feels like I'm putting our baby above her wedding. She even hinted that I should figure out how to detach from the baby for just a few days and that we should understand how important this event is for her. Maybe I am being unreasonable for not willing to leave my baby behind, but I just feel like I should be there for my baby at all times, plus I know how anxious I am going to feel that entire day. My sister's argument is that it's her wedding and her rules, and while I respect that, I also think she should be more understanding of our situation. Am I really the asshole for refusing to attend her wedding if I can't bring my baby? Another day, am I the asshole for not going to a child-free wedding, or variations thereof? After 5 million of these stories, it's still difficult to understand why those holding child-free weddings get upset when people with children won't come to your precious wedding. It's equally difficult to understand why those with children keep wanting exceptions for their rugrats. Not the asshole for not going, not the asshole for wanting a child-free wedding. There, I hope that clears it up for future posters. Also, as a side note, no one has a bullet to your head about funding a wedding you don't want to attend. Don't fund it and don't attend it. Info. Why are you not willing to leave the baby with your husband while you go to the wedding? Is he incompetent? Edit. Just because it's not clear. Op doesn't have to travel alone and spend days away from her child. She can bring them along and breastfeed before, after the wedding. They would just have to leave the child with the dad for a couple hours. I was questioning why she wasn't willing to do that. Why can't you and your husband go to the town that the wedding is in? He stays close by in a hotel with baby whilst you attend the ceremony, and then you can step out to go back to baby after the ceremony? Ultimately, it's up to you, but you either compromise and find a way, or you'll never hear the end of it from sister. No assholes here, as I don't think anyone is in the wrong here. Nah, your sister can have her childless wedding, and you don't have to go. Simple as that. RSVP and decline. Clear not the asshole at this point. My sister got very upset with me, saying it's her special day, and she feels like I'm putting our baby above her wedding. Of course you are. That's absolutely the right order of things. Baby comes before sisters and weddings always. Silly sister. Why don't you, husband and baby go to where the wedding is, get a hotel room, and you attend the ceremony while husband is with the baby? There are reasonable options here that don't include you getting to bring your child when no one else can or skipping the wedding. Think outside of the box here. Would I be the asshole if I continued to let my stepdaughter sneak things into the house? So, I, 38F, am married to my husband, 42M. I have 2 kids and he has one with his ex, Alice, 11F. My husband has 50-50 custody, so Alice is around a good chunk of the time. Few weeks ago, Alice started sneaking some of her Sanrio, she's obsessed with the brand, plushies into the room she shares with my daughter. It was fairly obvious, but I didn't comment on it, nor did my husband. I really thought nothing of it, but my husband got a call from his ex. Apparently, she's been wanting Alice to get rid of the toys because she's getting too old for them and wants to give them to younger family members. I think it's a bit cruel. My kids are older than Alice and I don't force them to give away their plushies unless it's obvious they don't care about them anymore, which Alice clearly does as she's attached. My husband doesn't really agree either, as he bought most of her collection and feels like he should have a say in what's going with them, and he doesn't want to give them away if Alice still likes them. Is it wrong if I just don't comment on anything? My husband has made it clear to me he's not going to say anything as they're technically his toys and they should be here anyways. I really don't find harm in letting Alice take them over here either. But then again, as much as I love her as my own, I'm not legally her parent and don't know if I should really get a say in this. Would I be the asshole? Not the asshole. She is only 11 years old. I am 18 and still have some of mine lying around. Alice clearly has some attachment to the teddies and she will know when it's time to let them go. Alongside that, X can't say what happens in your and your husband's house. Good communication and similar rules are always helpful when raising kids in different custody situations, though a few are fine. Letting her keep some toys, especially that your husband bought, is normal. Definitely not the asshole though to save yourself down the track. I'd let X know you'll be happy to keep the toys in your house instead. Not the asshole. Pretend you have no idea of the situation and let your husband take point. Alice is seeking to keep her beloved possessions safe and your home is that safe place. It wouldn't surprise me if Alice is being told it's time that she grew up and stopped being a baby in order to shame her into giving away her beloved plushies. She needs a place where she can feel okay being a young girl and feel some autonomy over her belongings. As far as her mom's house goes, Alice is getting rid of her toys, but she's not re-gifting them to younger family members, so it's not about Alice getting rid of her toys, it's about a power play of her mom forcing her to share when she doesn't want to. Coerced sharing is another way of saying being bullied. I don't see why you be the asshole in this situation. You're on your husband's side, not the ex-wife. You and your husband are not the asshole. Alice is still young and should be allowed to enjoy her plushies for however long she wants. You and her dad are married, you have a say. Not the asshole. Let the girl save her toys. I'd take it a step further and talk to your husband about telling her to bring them all at once, as one day she will go back to her mother's and they will be gone, as the mother sounds like she would just give them away. Send your hubby with a truck over there to get all the stuff she is too old for. Your step will never be more grateful. Not the asshole.